three cities, three states, Nikhil. If Kolkata was a complete administrator mess, you had celebrity craze and selfies where Mumbai was concerned, and of course, the chants of AQI resounding for Rekha Gupta and Lionel Messi in Delhi.
Well, I don't know where to start, Preeti. I agree, that VIP culture was on display, and that's something that clearly didn't go down well with the fans that turned up. You talk about the mess in Kolkata. I also heard, politicians and VIPs being booed in Mumbai as well as Delhi. AQI was just one thing. Everyone else who came on the dais was also booed, and that's what I'm saying. It was a clear sort of a display of, the difference between the haves and haves not. But that's not, my real problem with this tour. I think
you have another grouse.
Yes, and that is to do with the sport of football, right? I mean, nothing against Lionel Messi. I'm a huge Lionel Messi fan. I've seen him play live on multiple occasions. Yet I couldn't get myself to be invested in this event. I did not go and cover it as a journalist or even go there as a fan and see Lionel Messi on the field. And I'll tell you why. That's also because I love the sport of football far more than Lionel Messi. Messi exists because of the sport of football and not vice versa. And the current situation in India is probably the worst or the lowest ebb in Indian football. I mean, Indian football has anyway had nothing to write home about in the last 2-3 decades. Yet, this is probably the worst phase of Indian football. And I'll just let our viewers know why I say that. First and foremost, every country in the world has a national league. That's your main competition from where you get players to the international level. This is the first season that we've not had our national league in the last 3 decades since it was started because it's suspended. There are no takers. No one wants to organize the national league. You know what has that done? There are about 300 professional footballers in India that have been rendered jobless. They have no money. You've had stars. We were celebrating Sunil Chhetri, Gurpreet Singh Sandhu. They've put out posts a couple of months ago on social media saying that, listen, somebody help us out. We don't even have a national league. We are jobless at the moment. That's one thing. You know how much money was spent on this Lionel Messi tour? Nothing against Lionel Messi. He has nothing to do with Indian football. It's not his job to fix Indian football. But the point is, you have a private entity that brings Messi, estimated figures of bringing Lionel Messi here, operation costs, plus
crores.
Is 120 crores. Do you know, when I said National League is not happening, they're asking, All India Football Federation puts a tender out asking, hello, is there an entity that can buy this tender, organize the National League? The minimum guarantee is 37 crores. Anyone who's ready to cough out 37 crore, you can have one season of the ISL, the Indian Super League. There have been no takers for that. Nobody wants to buy it. You know that 120 crores that a private entity spends, they've recovered that money through what? Through gate money. People paid 12,000 rupees to enter. 10 lakh rupees per selfie, people have paid money. There have been partners, there are sponsors, there are companies that have come on as sponsors. State governments has come on as partners and have paid a lot of money. All of that has ensured that 110 crore can be recovered for 72 hours of Lionel Messi. That much money, you could have had 3 seasons of your national league. Unfortunately, we don't have that. And that's not where it ends. Your national football team is in its worst position. You're ranked 142 in the world, which is your worst ranking in the last decade. You're ranked at 142. Do you know, we keep talking about when will India play the World Cup? Before you reach the World Cup level, you have to play at the Asian level. So the Continental Championship now has 24 teams from Asia that participates. Everyone who knows football knows that Asia is probably the weakest continent in football. India has not made it to the 24 teams at the Asian level. And this is the first time in the last 4 editions that they have not made it. Out of the 4 editions, they made it 3 times. They have not made it this time. And this is the position where Indian football is. My point is, again, not that Messi could have fixed it, but while Indian football goes through a scenario like that, I really can't see the opulence that was on display when Lionel Messi came. And I say that as a Lionel Messi fan.